It's time for the Wii Party review for the Wii. Now, I'm sure I wasn't the only one to think, oh boy, a Mario Party ripoff, when I first heard of it during E3, and, well, is it a ripoff if it's by the same game publisher? Well, anyway, I thought it was going to be a Mario Party clone without Mario, but I'm happy I was wrong. Let's take a look at it. When you come to the selection screen, you're given many different choices of what you want to play. There are 5 party games, 3 pair games, and a variety of house party games. Let's start with the party games. The first one, called Board Game Island, is designed similarly to Mario Party, but there are significant differences to make it separate. The goal is to reach the top of the mountain first. To get there, you'll roll a die to see how many spaces you'll move. If you land on certain squares, an event will trigger which can either be beneficial or negative for yourself, or can even affect other players. There are some areas where you'll need to roll specific numbers in order to advance. Like Mario Party, after the 4 players each take their turn, they will all play a minigame. The minigames can either be free-for-all or team-based, and most of them are very fun. There are a handful of chance games, but most of them actually take some skill to win. The first place winner gets a bonus golden die, the second player gets a silver die, and the third player gets a red die. The bonus dice give you higher numbers when you roll, allowing you to move closer to the goal. The second party game is Globetrotter. This is a pretty cool idea for a game mode. Everyone starts in the same spot in the beginning, and the goal is to travel to hotspots located in various countries around the world. Once at a hotspot, you'll receive a souvenir photo. Whoever has the most photos at the end of the game wins. To move to different countries, you'll choose one of your face-down cards and move however many spaces the number on the card says. There are special cards you can obtain which can advance you even closer to a hotspot, and like Board Game Island, everyone plays a minigame after everyone takes a turn. This is my favorite game mode of the 5. The third one is Swap Meet. The goal is to collect 2 sets of 3 Mii characters wearing the same colored outfits. This was a pretty interesting one, as there can be quite a bit of strategy and skill needed in order to win. Playing minigames determines the order in who will get to swap out Mii characters for others. It's pretty fun, although I wish there were different sub-modes in this one, as it can become a little shallow. The fourth one is Spin-Off. This one feels like there's very little skill involved, but there actually is. The point is to win as many medals as possible through a spinner. Each player takes a turn spinning the spinner, and usually the arrow stops on a panel which adds metal to a bank. A player can collect the medals in the bank if they stop the spinner on the correct panel. The thing is, though, you spin the spinner by flicking the Wiimote to one side or the other, and the amount of force you flick the Wiimote with determines the speed of the spinner. But it was difficult in determining how much force to use, because if you wanted to spin it gently, you still had to use a certain amount of force to get the Wiimote to register, and when it did register, it seemed like it would always spin too hard. So we didn't try too much to get the panel we wanted. It felt like there was too much luck involved in determining a winner, and there weren't enough minigame panels on the spinner. If you did play a minigame, the winner or winners would receive the medals in the bank, but it is possible to lose the medals over the length of the game. The fifth one is Bingo. The point is to check off Mii characters on your bingo card. A ball with the face of a Mii character will roll out of the bingo machine, and if you have that character, you get to check off that person on your card. To get bingo, you must get 4 faces in a vertical, horizontal, or diagonal row. Sometimes a minigame ball will roll down, and whoever wins the minigame gets to check off any character they want from their card. It's fun, but it goes by pretty quickly, and it's just an okay game mode overall. The Friend Connection pair game is a cool idea, but it really doesn't need to be a video game. It basically tells you if the 2 players playing are compatible with each other. You'll be asked a handful of questions that you'll answer in relation to the other player, like which sport does the other person like better, skateboarding or soccer? So you'll use the D-pad to select an answer, which prevents the other player from knowing which answer you chose. At the end, you play a co-op minigame, which I don't think helps determine if you're compatible with the other person. What if you suck at the game, but the other player is awesome at it? I know, it's just for fun, but I still think this doesn't need to be a video game. It feels like a really watered-down version of the Newlywed Game. Balance Boat is pretty fun. You have to work together by placing various weighted Mii characters on the boat without tipping it over. The outcome of co-op minigames you play determines the size of the two Mii characters you receive at the end of each minigame. Sometimes you'll receive a heavy Mii character and a light Mii character, and you'll have to work together by determining where to place each one on the boat. A catch is that you have to place them on the boat at the same time to prevent it from tipping over. It's a fun game that can teach players about working together and weight distribution. Hooray for teamwork and math! The last pair game is Matchup. Basically, you're just trying to match Mii characters with each other through memorization, and whoever has the most pairs in the end wins. It is fun, but it's not too exciting. House Party holds 5 different game modes which use the motion sensors and the speakers of the Wiimote specifically. These games are really fun and can be laugh-out-loud funny. Like with Word Bomb, you pass the Wiimote to each other, and the player holding the Wiimote has to say a word based on a category chosen in the beginning, like having to say a word that begins with a specific letter, or saying a word that relates to a specific category. The catch is, you only have a few seconds to come up with a word, and when you're on the spot trying to think of a new word with a very short time limit, it can become hilarious. The graphics look good. It's nothing too special, but for this type of game it's okay. Nothing looks bad, but nothing looks amazing either. The controls for most games are great. There were a few games where they needed to be tweaked, but for the most part everything worked like it should. The game only uses the Wiimote. You don't need nunchucks, classic controllers, or anything else. A great thing about this game is that there's a large amount of variety of game modes. This helps with replayability, and it's so much fun when there are 3 or 4 people playing. A major downside, though, is that this game would have been great if it had online multiplayer. Granted, you probably couldn't play any of the House Party games, but still, just give me the 5 party games. Playing against the AI isn't really that fun, and I think online multiplayer could fix it to a degree. Wii Party is a great game, good graphics, great controls, a nice amount of variety in game modes, lots of minigames which most of them require skill to win, and is a blast to play with 2 or 3 other people. However, some game modes are shallow, some minigames are purely luck, which isn't always a bad thing, but if you're in a close match between your opponents and you lose on a chance game, it just feels like you've been cheated, and I really wish there was online multiplayer. Overall, though, it's still a great party game, and I'd even say it's as fun, or even more fun, than Mario Party. This game gets a 4 out of 5 with the title of Awesome.